Kanpai.
Kanpai.
So welcome to Japlanning, episode
4.
We're looking over here, we have the iPad propped up with the notes. So quite a lot has happened since we last filmed. Obviously the world is in a very different place. The last time we recorded was the 14th of March. Before we get into like our travel plans, there has been quite a lot of changes in the world of travel, which obviously has impacted on our trip massively, but we'll get into that later. Just a rough timeline of what's happened. We signed up for travel alerts with the FCO just after we filmed our last video. We'll leave a link in the description box below if you do want to sign up for any country updates. It's really good. So on the 17th of March, the FCO advised against all but essential travel from the UK, which usually invalidates your travel insurance policy. On the 23rd of March, the FCO urged people to return home because commercial flights were becoming less and less available, and to repatriate people it costs them money, so they also don't want to do that. On the 24th of March, Japan decided to move their Olympics to 2021. 4th of April, Japan declared that they wouldn't allow any international visitors and suspended the visa waiver program for any visitors within the certain countries that they share a visa agreement with. Then on the 6th of April, Japan declared a state of emergency. On the 8th of April, British Airways suspended all the direct flights from Japan to the UK and back. Not yesterday, the day before, Japan lifted their state of emergency in pretty much every prefecture apart from a few. Basically, they're out of lockdown, but I don't think their government can like impose a lockdown. They're not legally allowed to do it.
They're basically running on asking for citizens to kind of obey.
So yeah, that's what's happened.
Where that leaves us at this point in time is when it got to May, we need to make a decision on whether we're going or whether we're not going, how we proceed from there, as in like rebooking flights or requesting a voucher for our flights and luggage. Our decision, we wanted to go later in the year, and we'll go obviously more into depth in regards to that kind of later down the line, but with this it's more the case of whether we were going to be able to fly with our lockdowns lifted, being able to travel into Japan. Now that they've lifted lockdown, we've still made a decision that we're kind of going to delay it until later in the year. As
we add and remove things, it's gonna be like a lot of additions and removals, so we'll still keep like a running total of everything that it's cost us, but it's just gonna like be a bit back and forth.
On the 1st of May, we decided to start cancelling our plans. First of all, airport parking. Got that cancelled with NCP, who offered a voucher so that you could rebook your parking with them.
Yeah, and I think it's worthwhile mentioning that it was on a non-cancellation rate. If you obviously had something that you had booked that you could cancel, you would have got your money back, but because we booked a non-cancellation rate, we're actually kind of lucky because we got a voucher back for the same value to use it at a later date. You can use it also, I think, for lounges and priority security. Like it's not just parking, you could use it for different things if you weren't to book the parking with them.
On the 5th of May, we made initial contact with Air France, getting our flights changed.
We did go on the website first to try to change our booking, but their option was like grayed out as like you need to contact us, so
Emma tried to email them. As you can imagine, with the amount of people contacting them at the moment, there is a delay in them getting back to you. They kind of came back to us, I think it was about 7 days, come back to us to ask for more information. By that time, I had also tried to contact them to kind of see if there was a faster response through Facebook, which I did get a response from. However,
it seems like automated responses on there.
Yeah, once they got back to us via email, it actually had said that we needed to phone in for any rebookings with Air France.
But we didn't realise that until this week.
Yeah, so Air France's policy at this point in time is that you need to either rebook before November 2020.
Yep. Or you can get a voucher that has to be used by December 31st, 2021.
So
after a year, you can ask for a refund on the voucher, which is a little bit shady because they've got your money for a little bit longer. It's better than nothing for most people, you know. That voucher can be used with code-sharing airlines, so it's KLM, Air France, Delta and Virgin Atlantic, so it is actually quite good. You could go east or west with it if you did decide to change your plans.
We opted to rebook instead of requesting a voucher.
It makes more sense for us. It might be like really optimistic, but We have our reasons for it. Basically, holidays will get more expensive. And we really don't want additional cost on our trip.
Who wants to pay more than what they need to?
Exactly. Even looking at our flights, they were like £200 more expensive to go when we're going now than when we were in June. I mean, that could be like a seasonal thing, and we'd rather have that as spending money.
When we decided we weren't going away as soon as expected, we looked at adding on a few days throughout our trip. Really, it's only a bonus for us to spend more time and enjoy it. Instead of the 10 days we originally had planned, planning on departing the AM of Thursday the 24th of September and leaving in the AM of Friday the 9th of October, making our trip 15 days long.
Made quite a few changes to our trip, as Troy mentioned, and we'll start at the last thing that we've done because that kind of makes more sense than doing it in chronological order. We only changed our flights this week. Everything else had been changed like before we had changed our flights. I called them on Thursday and I got through really quickly. Like, I didn't expect to get through it within 10 minutes. The lady on the other side of the phone was really nice as well. She was really helpful. She basically just said, when are you looking to go and when you're looking to come back? And she changed all our luggage and stuff over our September into October trip. We managed to get our flights changed to depart Glasgow on Thursday the 24th of September at 10:45 in the morning. We have an hour and 15 minutes stopover in Amsterdam, and then we arrive in Tokyo Narita the next day on the Friday at 8:35 in the morning. So all those flights with KLM. And returning back, for whatever reason, they don't do a morning flight out of Tokyo Haneda. Returning, we actually get pretty much a whole other day in Tokyo.
Yep.
So returning Tokyo Haneda, we fly out on Friday the 9th of October. Our flight is at 5 to 11 at night. We have 2.5 hours in Charles de Gaulle and then another 50 minutes in Amsterdam. And we arrive back in Glasgow on the Saturday 10th of October around 10 a.m. That was like a nice little unexpected bonus as well because we already added on days. And then she told us like, yeah, there's no morning flight. So we're like, okay. Right.
We'll just take the extra time.
We'll just take it. Our hotel has luggage storage anyway, and there's plenty of places that probably store our luggage for us. Then we had rebooked our parking before we had changed our flights, thinking that we would get home late on the Friday night. But since we weren't getting home till the Saturday morning, I had to change it again, and just as well we had booked a cancellation rate on the new booking. That cost us an extra £17.97, which I don't think is that bad for an extra nearly 6 days on top of what we've already paid. With those new dates, we had a few days to add on, and we kind of had an idea of things that places we'd really like to go or spend extra time in before we made all these changes, so this was quite easy. We added one night in Kyoto. We know it isn't enough time, but realistically, what is enough time? There's never going to be enough time. Some time is better than no time, basically. We booked via booking.com at the Royal Hotel Kyoto Hachiguchi. Hachiguchi. So that costs 9,350 yen, which is approximately £71 for a queen room and a cancellation rate. And I'll see if I can find some photos, but it looks kind of fancy.
And it does look very nice.
It's going to be our first night, so like we don't really mind like splurging a little bit on something a little bit nicer to get something that's a little bit more comfortable. So we kept our 3 nights in Osaka. We were still within our cancellation time frame for our Airbnb. Cancelled our original Airbnb, no issue getting a refund, so we got refunded our deposit of £53.04. And I think we found hotels to be really much the same cost-wise as hotels in Osaka. So we just went like straight to hotels. We're like, right, what can we get for our money? We have booked via hotels.com the Hilton Hotel Shinsaibashi, which is 14,427 yen or approximately £110 for the whole stay for a standard double room and cancellation rate again. It's not really that much more than what our Airbnb was. I think our Airbnb was like £103. Then we added on one night in Mount Fuji, so we kept the same hotel, the Fujisan Station Hotel, which we had booked via booking.com, which is 37,800 yen or approximately £290 for an economy double room and a cancellation rate. Now Mount Fuji's like in the like Kawaguchiko? Is it Guchiko? Guchiko area. There's very limited amounts of cheaper accommodation. Like they all seem to be like very
traditional.
traditional, either that or it's a hostel basically.
Yeah.
Finally, we added on an extra night in Tokyo. So again, we kept the same hotel, which is APA Hotel Higashi Nihonbashi Kemai. We couldn't include breakfast in this rate for some reason, but it works out the same anyway, no matter what way you do it, if you prepay for it or you pay for it at the hotel, so it's no big deal. Double room booked through hotels.com on a cancellation rate again for 55,867 yen, or approximately £430. We don't know really how Japlanning will be going forward. We obviously still have a lot to do, but we can't really do much yet.
Yeah, we can't really do much until we've been kind of given guidelines from the government to say we've kind of got to go ahead to definitely be going.
And what are we going to do with all this lovely extra time, Jory? We really like theme parks, okay? And I know Japan's like a beautiful, amazing country, but they also have beautiful, amazing theme parks too. So Fuji-Q Highland, high on the list. Since we've got an extra day in Mount Fuji, it might just be like an afternoon or something, but like at least we might be able to experience a little bit of it.
Yeah, so we did kind of have a look at this in the plans of our first trip. But we weren't too sure whether we were going to be able to kind of fit this in. You're supposed to be able to, on clear days, be able to kind of see Mount Fuji and while on the ride, so that would be kind of like a really cool experience.
Another cool thing that I found was the Shibuya Sky. I can't remember if we've mentioned this before, but I have seen it before, but I didn't realise how cool it was. Basically, it's like a skyscraper that overlooks Shibuya Crossing, but it just looks like a little bit different compared to like Empire State, the Rockefeller, the Tokyo Skytree, the Eiffel Tower. Like, it just looks a little bit different. So I think we'd maybe make an attempt to go do that.
We'll also be looking at like kind of having chilled out day evening in Tokyo as well, and obviously we've got friends over there that have said that obviously they'll be able to spare some time to spend with us. So what we're hoping to do is maybe get a karaoke session if it's opened by that time, just to get the whole kind of Japanese karaoke experience.
Getting really, really drunk.
Obviously tradition Japanese style. I'm sure that will be a great experience and we'll have very sore heads in the morning.
Also in Kyoto, since we've added on a day, kind of our top thing to do there is Fushimi Inari Taisha Shrine, which is basically like, you know, the shrine things. Then there's like thousands of them. I'll put a picture in because that was a very accurate description that I gave. Yeah, I think that's our main thing that we want to do in Kyoto. We realise there's way more in Kyoto to do than that. I think we found that like the less that we plan stuff, the better that our trip goes, because we have so much more flexibility. Like we didn't do that. Like we really wanted to do that. We didn't do that. Whereas if we just pick out a really few key things that we want to do, it's more manageable.
Depending on the situation with like Universal Studios kind of reopening as well in Osaka, if it was the case that it was still closed, then we may be able to change one of the days from Osaka over to Kyoto so that we get an extra day there and are able to explore a bit more.
This has probably been the hardest trip to try and plan, so much so that we haven't even tried to plan it so much. It's just been so difficult to try and get information. Like, everyone's just been told to stay home, and it's like, okay, but when can I go on holiday again?
Yeah.
Anyway, first world problems, we know. We all need something to look forward to. This concludes Japlanning episode 4. We have no idea what episode 5 will look like.
Yeah, so...
or when it'll be, or anything like that.
Hopefully it will be soon and we can give you an update on the situation in the UK, and we'll be checking kind of like Japan as well, just to see if there's any new information that's happening over there.
Yeah, because just now
if things are kind of starting to open back up as well.
Yeah, just now you have to self-isolate upon arrival in Japan, which is like for 2 weeks, and it's like
that's our full trip.
Whole trip. Should we have like put another 2 weeks on the start of our holiday? We'll just fly to Japan, take our laptops with us for work, and we'll work from Japan, and then we can just be there for holiday. But we're not going to.
And then we'll need to isolate when we get home.
Yay!
So that's Japlanning episode 4.
You know as much as we do at this point in time. I don't know how long.
Sorry, restart.
Choppity chop 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 chicken.
Chop chicken.
So I don't know how long that. Can you stop laughing? What?
Can you not hear that?
With the buzzing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear
It sounds like it's in here.
No, it's someone like cutting their grass or something.
What's the bee?
No, it's not. Shut up. Okay, maybe it is. Shut up.
I can see it flying about outside.